My friends, I want to ask you something today. Where is your focus? Are your eyes fixed on your own path? Or are they constantly wandering, watching what others are doing? We live in a world where distractions are everywhere. Social media, opinions, comparisons, they whisper to us, telling us that we are not enough, that someone else is doing better, that we should be chasing what others have. But I'm here to tell you, if you spend your life looking at others, you will never see what God has placed in front of you. You see, comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you measure yourself against someone else, you lose sight of your own blessings. You forget how far you come. You forget that your story is different. Your journey is unique. God didn't create you to be a copy of someone else. He created you to fulfill a purpose that only you can achieve. Some of you are frustrated right now, wondering why your life isn't moving forward. But I ask you, are you focusing on your own growth, or are you too busy watching what others are doing? A farmer doesn't grow crops by staring at his neighbor's field. He grows them by tending his own soil. Your life is the same way. And listen to me, jealousy is a waste of energy. You can't rise higher if you're weighed down by envy. The energy you spend worrying about someone else's success is the energy you could use to build your own. So I challenge you today, shift your focus. Stop worrying about who's ahead or behind. Stop seeking approval from people who don't even know your struggles. Run your own race. Keep your eyes on your own path. Water your own garden. And watch how your life begins to grow. Because when you focus on yourself, when you give your best every day, when you stop looking sideways and start looking forward, nothing can stop you. You will rise higher, you will achieve more, and you will walk in the purpose that was designed just for you. Stay focused, stay faithful, and watch how your life changes. True growth begins not when we look around, but when we look within. Too often, people search for answers in the world outside, measuring themselves against others, seeking validation and chasing approval. But the real transformation happens in quiet moments of self-reflection, when we pause, when we ask ourselves the tough questions, when we take an honest look at who we are and where we are going. It's easy to get caught up in distractions, to focus on what others have achieved, to compare timelines and wonder why we aren't further ahead. But the truth is, comparison will never bring clarity. The only way to truly move forward is by understanding yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your purpose. Instead of looking at someone else's journey, ask yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? Am I working towards something meaningful? Am I growing in character, discipline, and wisdom? Reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about awareness. When you take time to understand yourself, you begin to see what needs to change. You recognize patterns that have been holding you back. You identify areas where you need to grow. And most importantly, you take ownership of your life. Because when you stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming people, and start taking responsibility, that's when everything changes. The world will always have opinions, people will always have something to say, but their voices don't define you. What matters is what you believe about yourself, what you choose to focus on, and how you choose to grow. When you make self-reflection a daily habit, when you are willing to learn, to adjust, to improve, nothing can stop you. Because a person who knows themselves, who understands their purpose, who is committed to their own growth, is truly honest. Nothing steals happiness faster than the habit of comparison. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's, you shift your focus from gratitude to lack, from contentment to dissatisfaction. Instead of seeing what you have, you only see what you don't. Instead of appreciating your own progress, you begin to feel like you're falling behind. Comparison is a never-ending trap. There will always be someone who seems more successful, more talented, more fortunate. There will always be another level to reach, another goal to chase, and if you live your life constantly looking at others, you will never truly appreciate where you are. You'll spend your days feeling inadequate, questioning your worth, and missing the blessings that are already in front of you. The truth is, no two journeys are the same. You don't know the struggles someone else has faced. You don't see the sacrifices they've made, the battles they've fought, or the burdens they carry. What you see is only a glimpse, a highlight, a moment in time. And when you compare yourself to that, you are measuring yourself against an illusion. Happiness comes not from being ahead of someone else, but from being at peace with where you are. When you stop looking sideways and start focusing on your own growth, your own path, your own purpose, joy follows. Because real fulfillment isn't found in competition, but in self-acceptance. And when you embrace your own journey, when you trust your own process, when you celebrate your own progress, there is nothing to steal your joy. No two people walk the exact same path in life. Every person has their own set of challenges, opportunities, setbacks, and breakthroughs. Yet too often, people fall into the trap of thinking they should be where someone else is, that their progress isn't fast enough, or that their story should look like someone else's. But the truth is, your journey was never meant to be a duplicate of anyone else's. It was designed specifically for you. What works for one person may not work for another. The timing that was right for someone else may not be right for you. The struggles you face might be preparing you for something greater, something you can't yet see. Instead of wishing your path looked different, embrace it. Every experience, both good and bad, is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for what's ahead. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen as quickly as you'd like, or when you feel like others are passing you by. But success isn't a race, and life isn't about who gets there first. The most important thing is that you stay true to your own path, that you trust the process, and that you keep moving forward. Growth happens in stages. Breakthroughs come at the right time. And when you stop trying to fit into someone else's timeline and start embracing your own, you begin to see that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow someone else's script. Your journey is your own. And when you walk it with confidence, faith, and persistence, you'll realize that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't come from wishful thinking or waiting for the right moment. It comes from focus, deliberate, disciplined attention to what truly matters. The reason so many people struggle to grow is not because they lack potential, but because they allow distractions to pull them away from their purpose. They spend more time watching others, chasing temporary pleasures, and entertaining negativity than investing in themselves. If you want to grow, you must guard your focus. You can't build something meaningful while constantly looking around at what everyone else is doing. You can't develop your skills, strengthen your mindset, or reach your goals if your attention is scattered. The greatest achievements come from those who learn to tune out the noise and concentrate on their own path. There will always be temptations. things that seem urgent but are not important, things that promise quick rewards but lead nowhere. And if you're not careful, your time and energy will be spent on things that don't contribute to your growth. That's why focus is so powerful. When you lock in on your goals, when you commit to improving every day, when you discipline yourself to keep moving forward no matter the obstacles, growth is inevitable. Nothing great is built overnight, and nothing lasting is built without effort. But when you make a decision to focus on your own progress, to drown out the distractions, and to give your best every single day, you'll begin to see change. Small steps turn into big results. Consistent effort turns into transformation. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that focus was the key to becoming everything you were meant to be. Every person has the same 24 hours in a day. But how those hours are spent determines the difference between success and stagnation. The greatest obstacle to growth is not a lack of ability, but a lack of discipline. Distractions are everywhere: social media, entertainment, other people's opinions, temporary pleasures that offer nothing in return. It's easy to fall into the habit of giving time and energy to things that don't move you forward. But discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It means committing to your goals even when the excitement wears off. It means choosing long-term success over short-term gratification. While distractions pull you away from your purpose, discipline keeps you locked in. While distractions waste your potential, discipline develops it. The person who masters discipline masters their future. The world will always offer an easy way out, an excuse to delay, a reason to quit, but growth requires consistency. It requires showing up every day, even when progress feels slow. The more disciplined you are with your time, your habits, and your mindset, the faster you move toward your goals. Every great achievement, every transformation, every success story is built on the foundation of discipline. At the end of the day, the choice is simple. Waste time on things that don't matter, or invest in things that do. One path leads to regret, the other to fulfillment. The question is, which one will you choose? Jealousy drains energy that could be used to build your own success. It shifts your focus from growth to resentment, from gratitude to dissatisfaction. Instead of being inspired by someone else's achievements, jealousy makes you feel as if their success takes something away from you. But the truth is, no one else's blessings can block what's meant for you. Wasting time envying others only delays your own progress. When you allow jealousy to take root, it clouds your vision. You stop seeing your own potential, your own opportunities, your own strengths. You become so consumed with what someone else has that you forget to nurture what's already in your hands. Instead of comparing, use that energy to improve. Instead of envying, use that motivation to work harder. Someone else's success is not your failure. It's proof of what's possible. The reality is, life is not a competition. There is enough opportunity, enough success, and enough abundance for everyone willing to put in the effort. The only person you should compete with is the person you were yesterday. Every minute spent dwelling on what someone else has is a minute lost that could have been used to build your own future. Jealousy blinds, but focus empowers. When you shift your attention back to your own path, your own growth, and your own journey, you'll realize that you never needed to compare in the first place. Your time is better spent improving, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself. Let go of jealousy and watch how much faster you move forward. Imagine a farmer who spends all his time staring at his neighbor's field, worrying about how fast their crops are growing, how green their grass is, or how much rain they're getting. Meanwhile, his own land sits neglected, his soil dries up, his plants wither, and his harvest never comes. This is what happens when you focus on other people's lives instead of tending to your own. Growth requires attention, and whatever you focus on will flourish. If you constantly compare your progress to others, you rob yourself of the energy needed to build something meaningful. Instead of resenting someone else's success, use that time to water your own dreams. Instead of worrying about how someone else is living, focus on improving your own life. No one else's journey is your responsibility. Yours is. Success doesn't come from watching what others are doing. It comes from consistent effort, patience, and care. Your talents, your goals, your purpose, they need nurturing. The more time you invest in your own development, the more you'll grow. The moment you stop looking outward and start looking inward, you'll see results. Comparison is a distraction. Resentment is a distraction. But when you stay focused on your own path, when you put in the work where it truly matters, you'll reap the rewards. Your garden will flourish, not because you watched someone else's grow, but because you took care of your own. Chasing popularity is like chasing the wind. It's always moving, never constant, and ultimately empty. Too many people spend their lives seeking approval, trying to fit in and doing what they think will gain them the most attention. But attention fades, and the applause of others is never enough to fill the void of living without true purpose. Purpose is what gives life meaning. It's the reason you wake up with passion, the force that keeps you going when things get tough. Popularity is built on the opinions of others, but purpose is built on something deeper, on conviction, on values, on the impact you were meant to make. When you live for purpose, you don't need validation because your fulfillment comes from within. The world will always try to pull you in different directions, telling you to be this, to do that, to follow the crowd. But what good is it to gain the approval of many if you lose yourself in the process? True success isn't measured by how many people know your name, but by how many lives you've touched, by how much you've grown, and by how well you've stayed true to who you are. When you live for purpose, you build something lasting. You focus on what truly matters, not on temporary recognition. And in the end, those who choose purpose over popularity are the ones who leave a legacy, not because they were known by many, but because they made a difference where it truly counted. Real peace isn't found in achievements, possessions, or the approval of others. It comes from within. Too many people spend their lives searching for happiness in external things, believing that success, relationships, or recognition will finally bring them contentment. But no amount of money, fame, or validation can give lasting peace if you don't first have it within yourself. Peace isn't the absence of problems. It's the ability to remain steady in the middle of them. Life will always bring challenges, disappointments, and unexpected turns. If your peace depends on circumstances, it will always be fragile, easily shaken by setbacks, criticism, or comparison. But when peace comes from within, no outside force can take it away. It starts with knowing who you are and what truly matters. When you stop seeking fulfillment in things that don't last and start grounding yourself in purpose, faith, and gratitude, you begin to cultivate a peace that remains, even when everything around you is uncertain. You no longer need to chase approval, compete with others, or constantly seek more to feel enough. True peace is a decision. It's choosing to be content with where you are while working toward where you want to be. It's refusing to let the noise of the world drown out your inner confidence. And when you find that peace within yourself, you become unshakable, free from the pressures of comparison, fear, and doubt, fully present in the life you are meant to live. Distractions are everywhere. Opinions, doubts, temptations, and the endless noise of the world trying to pull you away from your purpose. But the ones who rise, the ones who achieve great things, are the ones who refuse to be swayed. They are so focused on their vision, so locked in on their goals that nothing can stop them. When you have a clear purpose and an unshakable commitment to it, obstacles don't break you, they build you. Challenges become stepping stones, setbacks become lessons, and every moment of resistance only fuels your determination to push forward. Focus isn't just about avoiding distractions, it's about being so deeply committed to your growth that nothing else matters. There will always be reasons to quit, fear, doubt, comparison. But when your focus is strong, those things lose their power over you. You stop worrying about what others are doing, stop seeking approval, and stop making excuses. You develop tunnel vision, seeing only the path ahead, refusing to be pulled in different directions. When you reach this level of focus, progress becomes inevitable. You start showing up every day with purpose, discipline, and persistence. Your goals are no longer just dreams, they become reality. And before you know it, the things that once seemed impossible are now within your grasp. Because a focused mind is an unstoppable force, and when you commit to your path with everything you have, nothing and no one can stand in your way. At the end of the day, the only person who can shape your future is you. Not the opinions of others, not the distractions of the world, and not the setbacks you face. Your growth, your success, your peace, it all starts with where you place your focus. When you stop looking at others and start looking within, when you commit to your own journey with discipline, purpose, and relentless determination, you become unstoppable. You were never meant to live in the shadows of comparison, jealousy, or distractions. You were meant to rise, to build, to grow into the person you were always destined to be. The moment you decide to lock in on your own path, to stop chasing approval and start chasing purpose, everything changes. No more wasting energy on things that don't matter. No more delaying your potential. No more playing small. The power is in your hands. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and never lose sight of the greatness within you. Because when you fully commit to your journey, when you block out the noise and embrace your own path, there is nothing that can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be.